A tiny country, barely a dot on the map, and yet it holds more ways to intoxicate the soul than any other. Belgium. We're not talking about spectacular landscapes or grandiose monuments. The real treasure here fits in a glass. Because in this damp corner of Europe, beer is not a drink. It is a ritual, an identity, and for some, a disturbing mirror of life itself. Imagine more than 1,500 different varieties, so many that no man could try them all in a single lifetime. And among the stone tables and terraces overlooking medieval canals, there are female figures who participate in this ritual with an unsettling calm. They do not drink to quench their thirst. They drink calmly, on stone terraces, without losing an air of almost inexplicable dignity. What is surprising is not that they drink, but how they do it, with the serenity of those who know that each sip is part of a story much bigger than themselves. Behind this feminine gesture lies an unexpected secret. The root of it all lies in monasteries. Trappist monks, hidden behind medieval walls, have turned fermentation into a sacrament. Every bottle produced in an abbey is an object of worship. In fact, UNESCO declared Belgian beer culture a World Heritage Site. Not the drink itself, but everything surrounding it. The ritual, the patience, the solemnity. In Flanders, one abbey produces just a few cases a year of Westvleteren 12. They say it is the best beer in the world. It is not sold in stores. It is not advertised. The monks write down each order in a notebook, as if they were guardians of a secret too fragile to be exposed to modern noise. And think how curious. That bottle, made in absolute silence, ends up in the hands of a woman sitting on a terrace in Brussels. The mouth that recites psalms in the cloister becomes lips that, without haste, make sipping a spectacle. That's where the man watching feels anxiety. How is it possible that a large, seemingly vulgar glass can hold so much distinction? Belgian women are like their beer, independent, complex, difficult to classify. They can sit alone in a cafe, looking out onto the street, and appear so self-assured that it makes many men anxious. The same is true of the country. Belgium never raises its voice, never seeks the limelight, and yet everything happens here. It is the political center of Europe, a crossroads of languages, a bridge between cultures. Women know this, and by drinking from a large glass, the kind that in other countries would seem vulgar, they manage to maintain an air of distinction, as if elegance in Belgium were not in the adornment, but in the way of sustaining the everyday. Belgium is split in two, Flemish in the north, Walloons in the south. Two languages, two prides, two worldviews. And yet, these differences dissolve like foam. The same glass held by a woman in Bruges is held by another in Namur. Different in accent, temperament, culture, but equal in the mastery of a gesture. Raising a glass with the same naturalness with which other cultures would raise a glass of wine. Beer here is the secret bridge of a divided nation. In fact, Each beer has its own glass, its own chalice. Serving it in the wrong container would be disrespectful, almost heretical. And think of the metaphor. With women, too, the gesture matters more than the intention. It's not what you say, but how you say it.
Every city in Belgium seems like a different woman. Bruges, melancholic, quiet, like a lady from another century who still dresses in lace. Its canals are mirrors in which no one dares to shout. Ghent, proud, rebellious, with an intense gaze, like those women who do not forgive mistakes, who remember everything. And Brussels is different. Distant, bureaucratic, cold. Like that woman who knows that everyone needs her and therefore makes no effort to please. Each city, like each woman, sets a pace. And each woman a different glass of beer. Some light, some bitter, some sweet in appearance, but intense at heart.
It's not just beer, there's coffee too. And the funny thing is that here, both are mixed together in the same setting. In Belgium, mornings smell like strong coffee. No frills, no decorative foam. Coffee that wakes you up abruptly. Afternoons are for beer, long and leisurely. And at both times they appear. The Belgian woman on the terrace is in no hurry. She can spend an hour staring at the same spot, as if time had stopped at her table. For a man, that slowness is unbearable, and yet fascinating. Because in a world that rushes by, they seem to remember that nothing worthwhile happens in a hurry. Men approach Belgian women like strong beer. At first they seem light, even playful, but after a few minutes, you feel the kick in your body. Some beers exceed 12% alcohol, almost like wine. They deceive with their smoothness, like certain women who seem simple, until they reveal their hidden strength. Or think of lambics, those beers fermented in the open air, unique in the world. Their flavor depends on the bacteria in the Brussels air. In other words, no one controls them. They are free, wild, unpredictable. Like some women. You think you understand them, but you never know what's coming next. There is something about Belgium that evokes nostalgia. Its Gothic towers, bells that ring as if time had stood still, streets that look like frozen scenes. But along with nostalgia comes anxiety, because one knows that this world is in danger of disappearing. How much longer will the monks keep their secret? How long will the quiet terraces last, without noise or vulgarity? How long will those women continue to hold a glass with dignity, without haste, without ostentation? Belgium reminds us that beauty always seems to be on the verge of extinction. In the end, it all comes down to a glass. A Trappist chalice, heavy as a reliquary. A glass of lambic, tart and wild, like the air that created it. Or it could be dark coffee, burning your hands in the morning. In Belgium, every glass is a mirror. You don't just drink, you observe yourself, with your desires, your nostalgia, that eternal feeling of not quite belonging. And when you see her, the woman who raises her glass naturally, you understand something that is not said aloud. That true elegance needs no dresses or stages. A slow, firm gesture is enough to remind you that beauty, when accompanied by silence, is stronger than any noise in the world.